What is up, everybody? We are back with a new plane for you. This is the Vixalithium. It is made from the Vulcan base, and as you can see, I have two of them right here. And yeah, they both look very cool. They're both made from printer paper, like a square sheet of printer paper. And what I did with this one right here is that I went and searched for a blue image, and I actually got this image of a dark blue right here and a light blue right there. And I decided to say to myself, "Oh, that's a cool looking pattern." So I decided to print out that, and I made the Vulcan base to see what I could do. And I ended up with this, the Vixalithium. And now as for that one's just a ugly one with no pattern. I'm just kidding. It's still a cool looking one, even with no pattern. And I'm gonna go over how to throw it, but I'll go over it again at the end of the tutorial. But how you throw it is you actually hold it by here at the end of the locking mechanism right there, and then you throw it like a hard throw, like just a hard and rough throw. And yeah, that's pretty much how you throw this plane overall. Now, those are some things I uncovered about the Vixalithium. And can I get this thing to stand up? Come on. There we go. Now, before we get into the tutorial, I'm going to go over the main features of this jet, and I'll go over the flight demonstration. Alright, so Vixalithium over here has two tail fins, and it has landing gear struts right there. Two here, two in the back, two in the back, one in the front. And it has two canard fins right there. A locking mechanism, like I already mentioned, two tail fins, and an air intake right there. Don't know if you can see it. Vixalithium is definitely one of my favorite designs. It's a really nice looking jet, and yeah. Anyways, I'll go into the flight demonstration, and then I'll teach you guys how to fold this. Oh, and by the way, this is a master level jet, still not as difficult as a VXR-28 or Arachnophobia, but still not for beginners. Anyways, flight demonstration starts in now. Now, let me go close the door real quick, then we can get started on the real stuff. Okay, so now we can get started. First off, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make a square sheet of printer paper by doing this. So first up, what you do is you have an 8.5 by 11 inch, right? You just fold it diagonally from here to there, and then let me get up here. One second, let me just move this closer to myself real quick. Get this camera angle straight. And yes, I'm sitting on a bed and then looking at a table. I know, not something you see every day while someone's filming an origami tutorial, sorry. Alright, so, oh my god, one second. Okay, so now what you do is you cut it here on, where's my pencil? Where the heck is my pencil at? Where is it? Oh, I was sitting on it. Bro, I was sitting on my pencil. Why? Anyways, you just cut it on that line right there. And then you can just crumble this up and leave it aside. Okay, and now we can get started on actually folding the model to look like this. The Vixalithium. Alright, now, this isn't like as difficult as the VXR28, but it still will be in the master level difficulty percentile. So, I'm just gonna sit down, okay? What we're gonna do first is we're gonna make a Vulcan base, because this plane pretty much uses the Vulcan base. So you already folded it diagonally like this, fold it diagonally in half again. And if you're getting started on your first ever master level jet, then this one's definitely for you, because it has quite a lot of instruction that's kind of difficult, but it's not as hard as the VXR28. But still, it's not for beginners either. Definitely not for beginners. All right, unfold that, and then you're just gonna swivel that over. So then it looks like that. And then you're gonna turn it over and make sure the flap underneath there intersects with the center crease, which can be a little bit difficult to do, but still possible. Just like that. All right. Then what you do next is you're gonna flatten down this flap right here. Oh, and yes, I forgot to tell y'all, I am now filming origami tutorials all over the place, literally. I'm just filming them all over the place, whether it's inside, outside, in the middle of nowhere, in a forest, in a restaurant, wherever I'm allowed to film. So yeah, don't be surprised if you see me filming in the most random place ever. Then alright, so now what you do is you already folded this here, right? You turn it over, and you fold this edge up so that, let me move forward a bit. Then you fold this edge up so that it doesn't go past these two corners right here, otherwise it would rip like this. Make sure those corners don't rip. And then you should have something like that. Okay, then you turn it over. And you fold this flap down like this so that the crease doesn't go past the nose inside. Make sure at this point it intersects with the center crease. Okay, turn it over. And then you're gonna fold these edges down like this edge to that line right there. Same thing here. Then you turn it over. And then with the existing creases right here, just fold it down. Turn over. Fold these to the center. Okay, and then pull out that hidden flap right there and squash it down. Then you're gonna pedal fold it, just making the pre-creases for that right here. Okay, then just pedal fold it. I think I said that twice already, bruh. Then just put that flap inside, like that. And then here comes a pretty tricky step. You're gonna partially unfold some of this. So that you hold it by here, and then there should be like this type of crease orientation on this part of the model. And then you're gonna do something this side right here. So what you're gonna do is that you're gonna make these creases right here mountain folds. So just pinch those. And then these creases down here should be valley folds, which they already are. Oh. Then you just pinch that behind. Pinch this so it's mountain folds. So, and then you have that prepared. Then you're gonna do the same thing on this side right here. Oh god, the blurry camera. Yeah, just pinch those to mountain folds. Right there. Make sure those are valley folds. Okay, and then once you have all that prepared, then see how it does that. You're just gonna flatten it back down like this, so that you have a kind of completed Vulcan base. And this base can make many different planes. Yes, many different planes. Okay, just flatten this flap down for now. And then you're just gonna fold this up. And then for now you're gonna keep it like that. Let me check how long this tutorial is. 11 minutes, or 12 actually, or 13. Not bad so far. Anyways, now what you're gonna do is fold this edge, this little triangle right here, this point to this line right there. There you go. And then same thing on this edge right here. Okay, and then you swivel it up like that. Then it looks something like that. And then what you do next is the same thing on this side, just swiveling it up. And fun fact, this is the first ever plane on my channel that uses the Vulcan base, which I think is pretty cool. And Vixalithium earns her spot on the first Vulcan base plane. And yeah. And just for fun, I'm gonna give my planes genders. Like for example, Sky is female, Triceptico and Triceptico AB or Triceptico Absolute, they're males. R50A1 is a male. SR73 4-wing is a male. Cryolautherion is definitely a male. And the TIE Bomber is also a male. A bunch of male ones, jeez. But yeah. And Vixalithium is another female. So why not? Just turn it over, fold these edges down. And yeah, this is what you're gonna do next. Just fold these edges down. Right here, or actually, I should zoom in for this step. There's this little edge right here. Just fold it down right there. And then swivel this edge more behind, like that. So then it looks something like that. That makes the main part of the wings of the plane. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side, right here. Like that. So over. Okay, turn it over. And I should zoom back out right here. Trying to get in a good position again. Sorry. Okay, and then what you do next is you're gonna fold these edges to this line right there, those lines, like this. And holy Jesus, it hurts sitting like this. Okay, then, so you fold that to the line and then do the same thing here. Then you have twin layers that look like that. And then I'm gonna zoom in here again. So you have these layers right here, right? You're gonna turn it over like this, and you're gonna swivel this over so that it makes a triangle, sort of. Like that. And then you're going to do the same, and then you're going to do the same thing on this side right here. Like that. And you can also adjust it to your need. Just not too much. Okay. Dang, just trying to zoom it out. There we go. And then what you're gonna do next is you're gonna fold this edge to like about there. Then what I like to do is fold it in half so that I can know it's equal. And then just book match right here. All right, and then there should be like a pocket in here. You're just gonna swivel it out like that. Just slowly and accurately. So then it looks like that. And then you're gonna do the same thing on this side right here. Just swivel it out so it looks like that, right there. All right, how long are we in this tutorial again? 20 minutes. Okay. Okay. Now, if you folded Irrelevant Paper Planes Fury Omega, then you already know what we're gonna do with these layers right here. But we'll do that later. If you haven't checked out Fury Omega, that's a cool one as well. Go check it out. And what you're going to do next now is you're going to swivel these layers down like this. Swivel that layer I meant. Let me just fold it in half so I can get it equal. Then you just keep doing that like 3 more times. 3 more times. So this is 1. Or actually, no. You only need to do it only 1 more time. Okay, and then you do the same thing on this side. Just swivel this in like this. Make sure it's equal. And swivel that out. Then you have the wings like that. And now here comes kind of a tricky step. All right, so what you do here is you have these layers right here, right? They're supposed to go in here. And actually, gonna zoom in for this. So you have these layers in here. You're gonna pull it out right there. And this creates a tail fin, and just sew that out and adjust it to your need, like somewhere about there. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side, but I'm just gonna fold it in half so that it can get it equal. But yeah, just repeating the same thing on this side, just pulling this out and book matching. Okay, then you have that, and then where's my model? There it is. Just for representation, these flaps right here, this one and this one, these will make the tail fins right there. So yeah. All right, now what you do is you're actually gonna take this and then you're gonna pull it up, and then you're actually gonna fold it in like this, and then you're gonna notice that oh man, excuse me. You're gonna notice that you have these edges right here. You're gonna flatten those down, and it should look something like that right there and here as well. And oh man, I think my voice is getting higher. No! All right, and then you flatten this down so it forms a diamond right there. Someone at a ring door, whatever. All right, and then the next thing you do here is I'm just making the pre-creases for a pedal fold because that is what we're gonna do next. And then just pedal fold that up. And oh no, what did I just do there? I'm a freaking silly kid. Anyways, I don't know what I just did there. I'm just gonna pedal fold this up because that's what we're gonna do. And then this right here is also what I call in a fire interceptor base, because this can make a gun, and you already have the tail fins for an interceptor right here. And you could make a color change copy right here, but we're not gonna do that right now. Maybe that'll be for another model or something, I don't know. Okay. Alright, how far are we in the tutorial so far? Let me see. 26 minutes, okay. Or 27. 6, 7. Alright, so now what you're gonna do next is you're gonna fold out the canard fins so that they look something like that. Like that. And then just flatten it back down. And then you're gonna do the same thing here, or actually fold it in half so you can book match and line everything up. And then that makes the, where is it? Oh man, I was sitting on it. Oh my god. There we go. There we go. Anyways, that will be the canard fins right there for Vixalithium. And as for the air intake, you're also gonna have to be a bit careful with the air intake because it's a bit sensitive. Sorry, just making some adjustments here. Okay, all right, that's good. Now, just for representation, this right here is going to be the air intake. And yes, it's surprising, but yep, that's going to be the air intake. Now, here comes another pretty difficult step. First off, we're gonna fold these edges to the center right there, like this. And then just make sure your crease is good, because you're gonna need those creases for the next step. Alright, unfold those, and then you're gonna partially unfold that point right there, and then you're gonna pleat sync these inside the model. So, how can I zoom in? There we go. So you just push these creases inside. And then you do the same thing on this side right here. Just open it up and sink it in. Let me zoom this back out. Right there. Okay. And then sometime later we'll form the top tab that's folded down right here to be the air intake. And yeah, it's surprising, I know. That's gonna be an air intake, but it is what it is. Now, let me check how long we are in this tutorial. 32 minutes, I think, about. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is swivel this over like that. Or actually, no. You're gonna swivel these so that this comes to a point right there. So that you have the nice point in the wing. And then you do the same thing on this side, making this right here come to a point. I love yapping. And then that makes those nice pointy wings right there. And then what you're gonna do next is swivel this up so that it swivels up the layers on the wings right here. Make sure that it still comes to a point right there, and that, yeah. But what that does is it gives you a nice looking canard right there. So yeah. Okay, and then you do the same thing on this side right there. Just swivel that up. Then it looks something like that. Just folding it in half to make sure I got it all lined up, which I did. Good. All right, for now, just to get it out of the way, I'm gonna fold this up right here. Just my parents talking in the background is fine. And then what you're gonna do is fold these edges right here, these two edges, as far out as they can go. So then it looks something like that. And then same thing on the other side. Alright, how long are we in the tutorial again? 35 minutes or 36 minutes about. Okay. And now, I'm gonna go over the full process on how to make a landing gear strut on here and on here. So, gonna zoom this in a bit. So, you should have two layers right here, and you should have pockets right here that you can put your finger in. You actually are going to put your finger in there, and you're gonna flatten it out, just performing a squash fold. And then you can do the same thing on the other side. And actually, you are going to do the same thing on the other side, right here. Now, you could use these as bomb bays right here. Those two pockets, you could use those as bomb bays. And yes, they can function. They are functioning bomb bays that you can use. But as for this plane, we're not gonna make bomb bays. But that's just something interesting I wanted to get out of the way. But anyways, let's go back to the landing gear strut. Ew. Anyways. First off, actually, where's my pencil? There it is. So first off, you're gonna fold, or actually swivel this inside so that this right there goes to a point right there. And sorry for the shaky camera. And then here's what you're gonna do. So just swivel this in here, inside. So that it comes to a point right there. And then the next thing you're gonna do is you take that up right there, and then you're going to swivel this out right here. So then when you flatten it back down, it looks something like that. And then you're gonna do, or actually, you're gonna swivel that in again, so that it's kind of like you made a pedal fold on one side. And then that's part of the landing gear strut completed. You're gonna do the same thing here. And I'll explain it again, just in case the making of the other side. So just again swivel this over so that it goes to a point right there. Find it out. And you're gonna swivel that back out. Oh, and also guys, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all. And who knows, maybe you could make this plane for your cousin, one of your parents or something. I don't know, but it's still a cool gift. And yes, this video was posted on Thanksgiving month. So yeah, I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving. And then the landing gear strut is ready to be formed. So you're gonna do some things. You're gonna do two things at once here. You're gonna fold this down, but you're also gonna swivel this out. So fold this down and then swivel that out. And then just to make it so the landing gear is more accessible, just fold this edge down right there. Just fold that part of the paper down, and then fold this edge right here behind. And then just pull this out as far as it can go. And then that's one landing gear strut completed. And yeah, that makes one of these right there. And there is a specific way to throw this plane, but I'll explain that later because that's kind of a different story. Alright, now everything you just did right there, you're going to do the same thing on this side right here. So what you do is just literally the same exact thing. So yeah, just swivel that in right there, like that. Excuse me. And then you swivel that out. And I don't know if I said this already or not, but if you're just getting started on master level jets, then yep, this one's definitely for you. Cause this one's not as difficult as the Vortigate or VXR 28, but it's still definitely not for beginners. So yeah, just swivel that in. And then once you do that, you're just gonna do the same thing on your side again. Just removing a kink right there. Okay, then you just do the two things at once again, just fold it down and swivel it out. Fold this edge down right there, and fold that edge there behind. And then just pull it out as far as you can go, just like the other edge. And then there you go. That is the two back landing gear struts. All right, let me check how long tutorial is, and 45 minutes. Just trying to get this back in angle. Okay. Alright, so now what you do next is we're going to form the air intake, and we're going to form the front strut of landing gear. Ew. Anyways, what you're going to do for here is you're actually going to zoom in for this. You're going to take and open up here, and you're going to try to bring some of it down right here. So then it looks like that. Alright, and then you're gonna fold this up there so that the air intake is, it's basically like adjusting the size of the air intake. And then just, you have these two edges right here. You're gonna fold those behind. And then it looks wrinkly, but it'll look a bit nicer when you open up the air intake. Same thing on the other side right here. And then just rabbit ear right here. Try to make a rabbit ear. So that makes the front strut a landing gear. And then I'm just checking if it stands up good, then yeah, it does. Okay. Now, how do I zoom back out? How long is this? 48 minutes? Okay. I think it's 48 minutes, I don't know. For now, you can just adjust everything to your need here. And let me just put this pencil back. What you do now, you're gonna just jet fold the model. But jet folding this can be a little bit of a challenge. So I'm gonna take a bit more time on this, and I know it seems unnecessary, but really it takes me a bit of time to jet fold. Come on, there we go. Okay, once you flatten down one side while jet folding, it should look something like that. And you're gonna do the same thing on this side. Okay, now that's finally a completely done jet fold. So you're just gonna fold the wings and canards up and stuff. Open up the tail fins and just adjust these to your need so that they're both good and equal. Just some adjustments to the rear wings. And then there is a few more things we gotta do and go over. Okay, we are almost done. We are like very close to being done with the model. We are almost done. Ew. Anyways, what we're gonna do next is you're gonna fold this up to like create a tail fin right here, like this. Now this is just a judgment fold. Like there's no right or wrong answer on this fold. But the thing I'll get clear about this is that you're not supposed to do it like that, or like that, or any of this crazy stuff, like that. Like no, that's a no-no. You have to do it kind of accurately, a bit, like that. But yeah, you're supposed to do that. And then, of course, you're not going to keep this tail fin. We're just using this for the locking mechanism. So then what you do next is you're just going to flatten it down right here. Or actually, fold this down right there. And then increase that good. Now, there is many things you could do right now. Like many things. So first off, you could make that into an afterburner right there. Like just put your pencil inside and afterburner. But I already tried making one of these. I tried making a Vixalithium with an afterburner, but afterburner Vixalithium just couldn't work. Like really, it just couldn't fly well. So I decided to make the flight model without an afterburner. But if you want a display model, then I just showed you how to get an afterburner. I'm going through puberty, guys, so my voice sounds different every day. But yeah. And then you're just gonna fold this down to there. And then now you made a tail boom. And if you want, you can keep the tail boom, but you shouldn't. Like I highly recommend you shouldn't. And then just fold this edge down to the bottom another time. Like this. Fold it inside. Okay, and then you're gonna fold this inside the model actually like this. Then it looks like that. And then just fold this edge up diagonally to complete the locking mechanism. And then just deploy the landing gear. Open up the air intake at the bottom. Might take a while to open it up correctly, but it's still possible. Then just shape this so you're satisfied, but otherwise, that is a finished Vixalithium. And you could modify this and turn it into an F-18, but really, I just like to keep it like this because it's already as good as it is. But that's a finished Vixalithium right there. Now, if you want to lock it even more, then that's basically just your choice. I'm not stopping you. But definitely would help if you locked it more. But yeah. Now, there was one more thing that I have to go over about Vixalithium. The way you throw this thing to fly it is you have to hold it actually by here at the final part of the locking mechanism, and you're supposed to give it a hard and rough throw like that. I'll do it slower. Basically, you give it a throw like this, but much faster, like that. And you could modify this into many different planes. You can modify this into a Chengdu J-20, an F-18, an F-14. You can modify this into many different planes. And you can remove the locking mechanism here and modify it to a Dassault Raphael or Mirage 2000, but that's your choice, not mine. But anyways, that is a finished Vixalithium, and if you finish folding this, then congratulations, you completed another master level jet. And I'm gonna try and design more jets with this base, but as of right now, Vixalithium is the first ever jet to have the Vulcan base. She is definitely proud to have the spot. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for following along in this origami tutorial, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.